if you're an Arisa player, you just don't have a personality at all. Like, you might as well be a robot. In this video, we're doing something a bit different and going over what your Overwatch main says about you, and putting your Overwatch main in a green flag, which means you're a cool freaking person, a yellow flag, which means sometimes you're a bit unhinged, and a red flag, which means you're toxic and people should probably avoid you. So we're gonna break it all down. But if you enjoy the content, do me a solid and smash that like, subscribe, and let's jump right into it. Now, right off the bat, we have Mei. And I do think that Mei has kind of gone through a bit of a metamorphosis. Back when Mei would full freeze people back in Overwatch 1 with her primary weapon, I would actually have put her in a hard red flag. I think a lot of people played Mei just to watch people suffer. But these days, Mei is a role filler on a team. And I think more than anything, Mei players aren't necessarily trying to give you a miserable time as much as they just want to play Mei. They just want to enjoy the experience of Mei. And I do find it's a little bit of a mixed bag personality-wise with Mei players. I would say that I've never really had a hard toxic Mei, so I'm not going to put them in the red flag tier. But I'm going to put them in the yellow flag. A bit sus, but yeah, not nearly as bad as I thought that they were back in Overwatch 1 due to the changes to the character. Now, let's talk about Soldier 76. And yeah, I think that this one is going to surprise some people. I think Soldier is a red flag tier. And maybe I'm just putting it here because of Metro. But no, I think that more than anything, you find people that are hard Soldier mains. People that really, really only grind Soldier. They are typically people that come from other shooters. So let's take someone that has come from a game like COD or something, and they're very good at those games mechanically. They bring that toxic nature with them. Super competitive, super mechanic focused. And I do think that it gets the best of them a lot of the time, and they become overly toxic. And yeah, I do think that there's some of the potentially worst red flags, I would say, if you're a Locket Soldier every single game and you're a hard Soldier main. And the higher and higher rank you are as a Soldier main, the more and more of a red flag you are, is what I would say. If you're a Soldier main, you know, in gold, I wouldn't say that you're necessarily a red flag. But if you're a Soldier main in freaking Grandmaster top 500, then yeah, you got some problems. It's okay, we all do. Next up, we do got to talk about Reaper. Reaper's kind of interesting because what I just said about Soldier, I think the opposite. I think Reaper's kind of a red flag in the lower ranks and then like a green flag in the upper ranks, just because someone's really trying to make him work. He's a bit of an edgy pick, you know. He's kind of like every 14-year-old's like hero they look up to. Edgy, listens to fucking Nickelback and Linkin Park. I think he's probably like middle of the pack though. I think most Reaper mains are pretty chill. They're kind of lone wolves. They want to do their own thing. You know, that's kind of how the character plays. Doesn't really coordinate with people. Doesn't work together well with people. Not necessarily gonna call you out or anything like that. They're more likely to just not say anything than like to be toxic to you, I think. Ramatra is an interesting one as well. I do think that a lot of the time Ramatra, you know, they're fine. They're playing the meta. They're playing something that brings value. But I do think that Ramatra players can be a bit toxic, especially when they feel like their team is like crumbling around them. They want to kind of micromanage people a little bit. And I think that they're a little greedy for resources. They want everything to kind of flow into them, all the value, everything on the table. They think they're doing so much, and they don't really think about what other people are going through. Don't think they're quite red flag tier, but I'm gonna put them in the yellow flag. You're on thin ice, buddy. You're on thin ice. Reinhardt mains, all right, no, I'm just kidding. Reinhardt mains are green flag. Yes, they're arrogant. Yes, they have an ego, but it's kind of like you know, back at high school, the jock that was nice to everyone, right? You know, they're cocky, they're arrogant, but they're nice too, and they just want to kind of enjoy a very pure form of Overwatch. At least that's what they want. They want the Ryan Mears. They want to get big shatters. They're just here for the ride, right? And I think that that's a green flag if I ever, you know, wanted to place anybody. Bastions. This is another hot take, I think. I don't think that Bastions have a toxic bone in their body. I know that like Bastion mains, they'll get flamed a lot, and I don't really see Bastion mains flame anyone back. Now, granted, I don't really see that many Bastion mains these days, but it's a character that I think someone just kind of wants to vibe and chill and do cool stuff. And yeah, I think Bastion's kind of a green flag, kind of like the character themselves. It's like, I think that people that just play Bastion just kind of want to just exist and, you know, just go through the motions. Genji, and this is coming from someone that has, you know, 2,000, 3,000 hours in Genji. This guy is definitely a freaking red flag. You at this point have to be a little bit broken to still main Genji. Like, if you're still a Genji player, you're losing your mind. There's no doubt about it. You're definitely losing your mind playing Genji through all the metas, through all the problems. Genji players are oftentimes, they're either going to be silent, but they could be, you know, judgy and tilted behind the scenes, or they're gonna be super loud and vocal. And yeah, if you miss a nano one time on a Genji's blade, he's gonna hate you forever. So yeah, I'm gonna say red flag. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to Wrecking Ball. I think Wrecking Ball could go multiple ways. I definitely think that there are some red flag Wrecking Balls that exist that kind of just roll around, do whatever they want, and regardless of what happens, they can do no wrong. But I think most of the time they're gonna be like a yellow flag. They can be pretty positive. You know, they kind of just like roll in and do what they need to do, and they kind of don't really say anything, aren't really toxic. But there are like positive and negative ball mains. I'm gonna put ball in the yellow flag tier. I think that's fine. Cassidy. I'm putting Cassidy the red flag tier, especially in his current state with grenade. I'm gonna say that Cassidy tends to be red flags. Now, I know that there's a lot of, like, you know, people that play Cassidy in the public sphere, like Wanted, who's definitely like a solid green flag. But I think, like, on average, there's a lot of Cassidys that I just think that maybe it's due to the nature of the character. I'm not entirely sure. People that are kind of a little cocky, they tend to flank, and if they die in feed, they'll, like, you know, rant at their team or something like that. They don't really take well to being called out at all. I'm gonna put them in the red flag tier. I think you could maybe put them at the bottom of yellow, but yeah, red flag. Arisa mains, I think like Arisa is a yellow flag, because if you're an Arisa player, you just don't have a personality at all. Like, you might as well be a robot. Okay, yeah, okay, we're getting a little spicy, but yeah, I mean, come on. You know, you're a zero flag. You're a blank slate. Like, what is your personality even? Roadhog, come on. You like, it's Roadhog. There's no possible way that you're a Roadhog player and that there's everything right with you in the head. I say this as someone who's played a lot of Roadhog. It's just impossible. It's actually just impossible, especially in his state now. If you're locking him now, yeah, good luck. Good luck. That's yeah, you got something wrong with you. You probably need therapy. It's like you're in the therapy tier. Yeah, he's like the combination of, like, he's just super edgy and super independent, and you have probably been flamed nonstop on this character and have endured, or you're actually very likely to start flaming people back if people start flaming you, and it's just like a flame war. Yeah, I'm gonna put a red flag tier. Sim. I actually had the opportunity recently to do some collaborations with some sim mains, and all of them seem like solid green flags. I'm not gonna lie. Every single one of them. They're really cool. They really like their character. They are, you know, critical of their own gameplay. I really do think that they might be some of the most green flag community of mains that I've actually ran into, I would say. I'm actually gonna put Sim in you know, right next to Rhine. Maybe I would even put him up there, but I'm gonna put him right there. I think Sims, they're actually green flags. Like, get to know a Sim main, and you'll be surprised. I think so. Lifeweaver. You know, I want to put Lifeweaver in the red flag tier, but I just don't think I can, because I've played with a couple of Lifeweavers on my ults, on my mains. And I've had several Lifeweavers that were like, and I'm talking about Lifeweaver mains. I'm not talking about people that just flex the Lifeweaver and don't give a fuck. I'm talking about people that actually grind the character. They're like, as a tank, I was playing tank. They're like, oh, was I pulling too aggressively? Did I pull too early? Was I messing up your plays? I've gotten these questions by a Lifeweaver, and it's like, they actually care. Like, that means solid green flag. And this only applies to Lifeweaver mains. It does not apply to people that just lock Lifeweaver randomly because they're trying to troll, or they're just playing it just because they've given up on the game. I'm talking about people that hard commit to this character. You're definitely a green flag. And yeah, Mercy, we're gonna save Mercy for the middle of the pack. Yeah, we're moving on. We're gonna talk about Moira. I mean, come on, it's a red flag. It's a red flag. You are gonna probably win the game by playing correctly on Moira, right? You go aggressive, you go on off angles, you go and try to do that Korean Moira DPS, you know, style. But you have to be comfortable with your other support having a miserable time, your tank having a miserable time, and yes, you're doing what's probably correct to win the game, but the player experience of everyone around you is suffering, and you're okay with that. And, you know, I respect it. I respect you, but you're definitely still a red flag. You're still a red flag. Come on. Zarya. Now, the way that I imagine Zarya mains is like, I imagine Zarya mains like noble, like they think they're like noble, like the noble correctness, but they're like almost like they look down a little bit on people. So like Zarya mains are likely to, they do the right thing, they play to win, but you know, if you mess up, they're gonna call you out for it, and they're gonna think you're an idiot for it, and they're gonna look down on you. I'm gonna put them in the yellow flag tier. I think that they mean well, but the competitive nature probably gets the best of them too much most of the time, is what I think for Zarya mains. Ashe players, I think that Ashe players probably about a yellow flag as well. It's kind of the same thing. You're just kind of a little bit less toxic Cassidy, I would say. Probably about the same. Maybe Cassidy doesn't actually belong in the red flag tier. Now that I'm looking at this, now that I'm looking at everyone in the red flag tier, he probably deserves yellow flag tier. I might move him up as we go. But yeah, Ashe is fine. I think I haven't really had that many interactions with Ashe mains at all. I feel like they're more likely to not talk than anything else. So yeah. Same thing with Sojourn mains. I just feel like they just don't talk very much. Now, I will say that Sojourn mains, they are likely to type something negative after the game is over if you lose, and they did a lot. You know, everyone's kind of likely to type, but I think Sojourn mains are most likely to do it. I would say the bottom of the yellow flag tier, maybe the top of red flag. I think this is probably fine. Tracer players. This is a weird one. I think that... yeah, I would probably put them in the yellow flag tier. Tracer could be a green flag. The problem with Tracer is that you get so used to having to do everything yourself, and you kind of see you like see what you're doing, and you're always evaluating it based on what your teammates are doing. And I do think that Tracer's getting a little bit in their head, and they're like, oh, I did so much, and you know, their team loses. I'm gonna put them in the yellow flag tier. I think it's kind of like the same as the Ramatra problem about that. Widowmaker. Widowmaker. I mean, I gotta put them in the red flag tier. Maybe not in her current state, but yeah, Widowmaker players, you're like the most individualistic person. I think most people pick up Widow in the first place because they literally think their teammates on every game are gonna be so trash that they have to 1v5 every single game. So that's why they learn Widow. They're like, I'm gonna carry everybody. But you have to walk into there already pre-thinking that your teammates are gonna be bots. So you're already starting off on the wrong foot. I'm gonna put her underneath Cassidy. But yeah, I don't necessarily think that Widowmaker players are gonna be that positive. Now, you do get flamed a lot on Widow, and I think that Widowmaker mains, you know, they won't swap. They'll kind of ignore you if you flame them when they're doing bad. But if they're doing good and you start doing bad, oh, they'll flame the hell out of you. I'm gonna say red flag. Hanzo. I think, yeah, you know, as someone that plays a lot of Hanzo, I have to put Hanzo in the red flag tier. Notice I'm putting a lot of like similar types of characters in the red flag tier. Hanzo is a character I feel like you're most likely to be put in a montage by getting killed. You're most likely to get teabagged if you get outplayed. Some Hanzos are apathetic, like they just don't give a fuck. They're just kind of doing whatever they want to do, and those are like yellow flags. But I do see that there are a lot of potential red flags in Hanzo players. Yeah, I'm gonna put them there. Sombra, I mean, come on. If you enjoy like denying people fun, okay? And I know that it's part of the game, and I don't have a problem with, you know, you playing Sombra, of course, but you know that people are not playing the game, and I think Sombra players are more likely to like clip something or laugh at something when someone tries to do something and you deny it, like canceling ultimates, denying something. You know, Sombra players will laugh, and yeah, you're like little demons, and I think y'all know that, and I respect that. But you're definitely red flags. Okay, Winston, come on. Winston is like a super green flag. There's no way that you could put Winston anywhere else besides green. You're just a positive person that just wants to jump in, have a blast, primal people off the map. I think that Winston and Ryan kind of go hand in hand with green flags, solidly green flags. Yeah, you know, you just kind of enjoy the game. You're just trying to go, you know, you're just kind of trying to do your thing. Win or lose, doesn't matter. You're just having fun. I think that Winston's are green flags. Divas, I could see Diva in the yellow flag. I'm gonna say Diva is like a low green flag. I think that maybe when we get to the super hyper competitive divas, it might be yellow. But for most divas, they're just kind of doing their thing. They want to get sick bombs. You know, they like Diva's mech. I think that divas can be kind of green flags. Now, if you have a Diva body pillow and you play Diva, you're like a hard red flag. But if you're like a normal person that plays Diva, you're a green flag. Okay, Sigma, similar to Zarya, that air of nobility, like I'm better than you, but let's win the game together. Let's win the game, peasant. I'm gonna help you win the game, peasant. I don't know why I think of that, but they you know, it's kind of like, okay, oh, here's the vibe that I get. Okay, this is probably way out of left field, but it's like where like you see in those movies where it's like someone that's super rich like helps out someone that's poor, like they help you out, but they insult you at the same time. You're right. It's like, oh yeah, and you're living in filth. Here's $100. Go get yourself some food. It's like they're like insulting you, but they're helping you. They mean well, but they like don't understand. Like they have no tact, I guess. All right, I'm putting them there. Okay, Mercy, you're getting pushed down to the line. We're doing Junkrat Queen. I think Junkrat Queen's probably, I don't know. I think Junkrat Queen could easily be a green flag. It's hard because I think that the Junkrat Queens that were mains of Junkrat Queens before she became meta were definitely green flags, and then more people kind of came into the role as Junkrat Queen became super meta, and now everyone can kind of play Junkrat Queen to an extent because they had to learn. And now it's like a lot of people kind of aren't mains, but they play. I'm gonna put Junkrat Queen in the green flag. I think it's fine. I think maybe high yellow. Yeah, let's low green. I think it's fine. Echo. I think same thing with kind of Tracer. I'm gonna put them in the yellow flag. I don't necessarily think that Echo mains are likely to talk all that much. I think they're more like silent players. They're not really saying anything super positive, but they're not going like saying anything super negative or being crazy either. I'm gonna put them in the yellow flag tier. Pharah. Yeah, I think I gotta put Pharah's in the red flag tier. Do I? A Pharah main? It's hard. I think I gotta put them in the red flag tier. I'm sorry. Pharah players, y'all know, especially when you're doing with a Mercy player, and you know that you're kind of just gonna do your own thing, and sometimes, I think actually, let me take this back. Pharah's a duo with the Mercy player, y'all are more yellow flags because y'all just rely on each other. But the Pharah mains that go into games in solo queue and start getting pissed that people won't play Mercy, I see that, you know, that happens all the time. That happens in a lot of the VOD reviews I've coached. That just happens a ridiculous amount of time where, like, Pharah's, like, expect you to play perfectly around them. Demand you play perfectly around them. Definitely more toxic than these characters. I'm going to put them right here. Kiriko, I think that Kiriko, yeah. I think Kiriko's a yellow flag. I think it's fine. Kirikos are fine. Most of the time, they're just kind of trying to chill and do their own thing. I don't really think that they're overly toxic. They could have the same things about Tracer and Echo and stuff like that, where they might feel like they're doing a lot and they're like wondering what's happening. There's so many Kiriko mains that the range is kind of too far to fully judge. I'm just gonna put them in the yellow flag tier. Brig. This is gonna be a hot take. Okay, hot take. I think Brigs in the current state are actually green flags. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out before you flip out. I think that Brig is a character that most of it is about protecting. It's about protecting your team, helping your team. You're trying to be helpful, right? Yes, you're trying to deny the enemy team, but you're not doing it like Sombra's, where you're trying to like make the enemy team suffer and not play the game. You're just trying to deny and protect. You're like a bodyguard, like a shield. I think that Brig mains are also, you know, they're not going to be super crazy about mechanics, and they understand that their impact isn't like over the moon where they're going to hard carry games. They're just like trying to do everything they can to win games as they come. It has not always been a green flag to be a Brig main, but I think right now it is. Ana, I got to put her low green. There are a lot of Ana mains, and the range is really, really far. But I do think that because maybe it's just because Ana is a fun character to play. I feel like Anas are more comfortable with losing than other characters, because even if you lose, at least you get to have a fun time. No one really complains about the Ana experience, I don't think, because you just get to have a lot of agency over your games. You get to do fun things. You get to shoot things, heal things, nade things, sleep things. I think that there's a lot about Ana that make her a fun experience, and I think that that translates into people not necessarily being crazy toxic when playing Ana, even if they lose. So I'm gonna put them there. Lucio is a vibe. Lucio's probably one of the greenest flags. I'm gonna put Lucio up here. People that do rollouts, they're just kind of trying to have a good time. Lucios are like the most likely to like take a 1v1 with you, even if it's not correct, because they just want to have the, you know, the fun of the 1v1. You could go on this crazy side mission batting a Lucio, and he'll do it. Like they'll kind of indulge just the fun stuff of Overwatch in the middle of a comp game. They'll indulge you. Now, your teammates might not love that, but the Lucio is not trying to be facetious or toxic to you. He's just trying to have a good freaking time, and I'm putting him in the green flag tier. I think he could probably be, you know, one of the best up here. Up here with the top 4, I think, are kind of elite tier. Zenyatta's tend to chill. I think I'm gonna put Zenyatta kind of around here. I think that some Zenyatas can be a bit toxic at times, but most of the time Zenyatas are kind of like they're little words, a lot of action. Sometimes they'll feed and sometimes they'll pop off, but I think they really like it when they get the opportunity to prove themselves in games. Yeah, I think it's kind of like a yellow flag overall. There are definitely going to be some toxic Zen players for sure. Especially because Zen players kind of get molded by their environment, and I think Zen is probably the one character that gets unjustly flamed out of any character in the game, I would say. When a Zen's doing a lot and they get flamed, I think that happens to more Zen mains, but Zens have to kind of embrace tranquility, take it on the chin, and just kind of, you know, go again, right? I think that that's something that Zen players have to learn, and yeah, we're moving Mercy down. Okay, we're gonna go to Baptiste. Yeah, I think Baptiste is a green flag. I don't think there's anything wrong with Baptiste. I'm going to move Jungle Queen down here. But yeah, I think Baptiste is a green flag. Perfectly fine. Baptiste is trying to support people, trying to kind of do his own thing. He doesn't really need a lot of help. He can kind of vibe out on his own. Yeah, I think he's a green flag perfectly. I haven't really had a crazy amount of interactions with Bat players, to be honest. Most of them don't really say anything besides stuff that has to do with the game. They're not really, like, laughing or anything like that. They're just kind of like chill but focused, I think, is what my experience with them. Junkrat. You know, this is another hot take. Some people are thinking I'm gonna put them in red tier, especially when I put like Hanzo and Cass in red tier. I'm gonna put Junkrats in the bottom of yellow tier, and the reason is I think that Junkrat players, a lot of them will go above and beyond, especially when we think of like high ranking Junkrat players. They'll like do server work, they like learn lineups, and they're just trying to make the character work. And I think that putting that much effort into making the character work and getting value on the character and succeeding on the character proves a certain level of dedication that I think it just demands at least yellow flag. And I haven't really gotten that much toxicity with Junkrat mains. Now, I have heard from a lot of the people that I talk to in my coaching sessions that low-ranked Junkrat players can be super toxic. You're going to have to let me know down below if I put them in the right placing here. But yeah, I'm going to put them in the yellow flag tier. Next up, we do got to talk about Torb. You know, this is going to be a hot take. I'm putting Torb in the green flag tier. Maybe I'm a little bit biased by Silvok, who's like a known, very, very chill, you know, Torb player that just kind of grinds through games. Yeah, he's just vibing out. He puts a good name on Torb mains, I think. But like more than anything, I think Torb players just kind of want to enjoy Overwatch. They kind of just want to chill. They just want to do their own thing. And I'm talking about hard Torb mains. They're gonna accept any freaking hammer 1v1s, you know. I feel like Torb mains are like Rhine mains, but like definitely worse than Rhine mains as far as vibes concerned, but like not to this level, this yellow flag level. I'm gonna put them there. Okay, we're up in the final two, what everyone has been wanting to know, Mercy and Doomfist. And yeah, I think that a lot of people, some people are like, oh, Mercies are super green flags, and some are like, no, get rid of Mercies. I think that Mercy is kind of this might be a lukewarm take, but I think Mercy is kind of like upper yellow flag. There's a couple things that Mercy players, throughout my experience, some of them are really, really nice and they're just vibing and they're trying to make things work. Other Mercy players are very critical of your play, and I think that that's because they are like the watchful eyes. A Mercy player plays in the back and just looks, and they get to see who's doing what. And, you know, sometimes they'll be too toxic about it. They'll rub you the wrong way, and then a fight breaks out. I think they're yellow flags, and there's so many Mercy mains that I think they're not all created equal. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to perfectly kind of nail them. Similar how it's hard to nail Kiriko's, because I think they're just very, very different from one another. I'm going to say upper yellow flag, though. Doom players, now this is me. I'm a Doom main, okay? I'm a hard Doom main. Yeah, we're not as bad as you, Sombra, but we're pretty bad. Yeah, so, I mean, Doom mains are not going to swap. If you tell them that to swap, they're definitely not going to swap. They have gone through the worst metas, the worst bugs of all time. They're super jaded, and you get Doom players that are like literally like obsessed with, you know, dealing with the problems of Doom, and they like hard advocates for Doom, fix the bugs, buff the character. Or you have players that just play Doom that are just like, I'm gonna do my thing, and I don't give a fuck what happens. So yeah, plus doofus players get roasted so much. I think it's a red flag. I'm sorry, I guess I'm a red flag, but yeah, I mean, I always knew that. You know, it is what it is. But anyways, this is my what your Overwatch main says about you. Let me know if I super missed on any of these, or if I seemingly got it all right. Of course I did. I'm always correct as a Doom main. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, let me know if you enjoyed the video. Smash the like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.